Hi, my name's Lindy Cowling. Welcome to this channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk. My email is info@lindycowling.co.uk. And the way to contact me for sessions, bookings, inquiries or media is via email, please. So the title of this short impromptu video, because I wasn't expecting to record this evening so soon after my last video, and I have literally just finished working, literally just finished working doing a session. The title of this video is Integrating Soul Aspects or Fractals. Integrating soul aspects or fractals. So what do I mean about soul aspects or fractals? You may find that at some point in your experience, that at some point in your evolution, that you are assimilating and integrating aspects of your soul consciousness that you were not consciously aware of before. So I'm not just talking in a more linear perspective of past lives or timelines and integrating aspects of your experience there. I'm talking about integrating aspects of your soul consciousness that may have been implicated in other lives, in other timelines, but that these aspects of consciousness are, how can we put it, engaged in reality elsewhere or engaged in other aspects elsewhere. So, for example, let's try and keep it simple. So you could be aware of you, who you are in this life, in this timeline, your name, your personality, your so-called reality. But you could have during dream time or dream state or meditative state or relaxed awareness, when your brain waves are in that relaxed state, you could be aware of other aspects of your consciousness. I don't mean an energy outside of you. I don't mean like aware of ghosts or spirits, that kind of frequency. I mean aware of aspects of your own being that you recognize, even though they may have a different name or different look. You recognize immediately by the feeling, and sometimes there might even be subconscious and then conscious memory of that feeling, and what we would call a knowing that that is an aspect of you. Like I brought out an earlier video, I think it was about 10 months ago now, called Merging with Michael, and I had a merging in my heart space with an angelic Michael energy. Now, I didn't make the statement it was Archangel Michael. What I said is I recognized the energy. It was a wonderful energy, and once merged, my heart became larger, didn't go back down. I continued up in my consciousness, and I became more of who I truly am. So it's not like tuning in, tapping in and calling in these aspects. It's almost like a spontaneous stage of evolution where you are capable in your own expansion of being able to be consciously aware of these other aspects of soul other aspects of your consciousness and have them integrated as part of the whole. So why this is happening is a natural state of evolution, and you can call on these abilities and call on these attributes and call on these aspects of your experience as a soul in multidimensional realities, parallel realities. You can call upon that as part of your experience. So it's not the same as soul retrieval, like shamanically calling the soul home or singing the soul home. That's a more linear perspective. I'm talking about as part of your own consciousness, you get to a level where you start to recognize and you're able to discern and tell the difference between if that's an outside energy, shall we say, like guide team, or someone helpful or someone not helpful in another dimension trying to intervene or interfere. You can be discerning and you can tell the difference and have the knowing that that is part of your own consciousness, or part of your higher self, part of you, part of future aspects of you, part of past aspects of you, which of course are all now. It's all now. And it is very expansive and very empowering when you hit this. And it doesn't all come at once, or it certainly hasn't been that in my experience, and other people I've spoken to that it's happened to, they haven't suddenly had awareness of all their soul aspects of their consciousness as a multidimensional complete soul at once. They've had fractals, or they've had partial awareness, or they've had one aspect at a time. So the reason I bring this up is it's coming up a lot for me at the moment, and I've had one such integration just 48 hours ago with another aspect of me in my entirety. Now it is interesting because, like I say, you need to learn to discern that it is part of your experience, and you will know, and you will have the knowing, and the integration will take place on a heart level of frequency. And as let's call it a fail-safe, I work through the frequency of Christ level consciousness. I've done so for a number of years. So whenever I have any interaction or before I do anything, I always go through the filter and perception of Christ level consciousness to filter out anything else. And I have my own knowing and intuition. So it's interesting because as your body gets the message that you're expanding, again, it can be quite frustrating because sometimes your body can take that message in a linear way and literally think it has to bulk up and expand. And that has definitely happened for me. I know my path is quite complicated, being a big template and wired into primary templates, and the kind of work I do, and the way I am wired, being a medium, clairvoyant and everything as well, and empathic and everything that goes with it, and twin flame union and everything that goes with it. I know all those factors are involved as well. But it's interesting how your mind and your body can get the message that as you are expanding, don't knock the camera, cat, so rapidly. Sorry, I'm making sure my cat doesn't knock the camera. So rapidly that it gets the message to hold this amount of space. You have to be big enough to contain it. And now I'm feeling that that's just a temporary thing. Well, 2 years doesn't seem temporary to me. 2 years of this. I'm hoping that that's just a temporary thing, and then my body will get the message, no, you can contain all of that consciousness and be your normal size, which is much smaller than my physical size is now. I'm hoping. Are you listening, body consciousness? Because as you expand, I feel that's part of it. There are many other reasons as well, as I've described in an earlier video called the waiting game. But definitely this expansion of awareness can be part of it as well, temporarily. So if you are at a stage where you are aware of aspects of yourself that you were never aware of, I don't mean aspects of your personality, I mean aspects of other parts of consciousness. I'm talking about aspects of your soul. You could have experienced, in linear terms, you could have experienced past lives, other timelines, which we know are all happening now, all of it, past, present, and future now. But it could also be other aspects of you as a soul experiencing other realities, and that you get to a point in your evolution where you come back into the heart, basically, and then you expand even more so. That full integrated multidimensional being. And if that is happening for you, be discerning, and I would say don't be afraid, but also be discerning, that and have an understanding of what's going on. You don't just take it for red kind of thing, thumbs up, that if it seems like it's someone outside of you, always be discerning, and check that out, and use your gut feeling and your own intuition there. But often when you get to this state of evolution, it's aspects of you as a complete soul, being awareness of your full conscious capacity, and not just aspects of your conscious perceived reality or experience. On a not unsimilar subject, I could touch on also the arena of the elemental kingdom and the angelic realms and the archangels and the ascended masters and the guides and the goddess energies, and all of these different layers, divine mother, divine father, the tribal nations, all different aspects of consciousness that you can link into. And I always link into under the umbrella of Christ level consciousness. I've done that for a number of years, and that is the filter that I go through, the perception, I wouldn't call it a safety net, it's a filter that I go through. So I don't link with anything, and even star beings that are Christ level consciousness integrated, I go through that perceptual filter, so that I have my system of connecting with on that level or above, and being able to check out, not just linking with any Tom, Dick and Harry or anything that says it's what it is. I have my own discernment and intuition anyway, but that's my filter. But when I was talking about the angels, the archangels, the elemental kingdom, which are all part of this, you can get some people that just focus on one area, like focus on working with angels, some focus working on ascended masters, some focus on the goddess energies, some focus on the star beings. What I'm saying is, you may get to a level where you can integrate and work, not only work with all aspects of those, but realize that you are many aspects of those. So part of your consciousness is star being, galactic. Part of your consciousness is angelic. Part of your consciousness is elemental. Part of your consciousness is goddess. And so I could go on and on and on. Part of your consciousness is linked to the ascended masters. part of your consciousness already is in its mastery. And so all these things are being realized and actualized. And there's a linear way of looking at it, in that tuning into it. And then there's a difference between tuning in and becoming it. Tuning in, learning, and becoming, two slightly different levels. When you are going through things like that and having those realizations, it takes a period of time, otherwise it would be mind-blowing. I'm talking about this stuff now, but I have a 17-year background in working in this arena and a 20-year background in having an awareness on things like this and doing my own discovery and inquiry into this. In fact, over 20 years. But 17 actually working with it, going through different stages of evolution. Yes, it is much quicker for people now, and some of the generations are coming up quicker, but the reason they're coming up quicker is because the old school generation laid down a lot of the templates so that the new generation could imprint on it in a higher state of consciousness. That is true in a lot of cases, not always. There are some of the younger generation that have incarnated not of the old wiring and the old root and are coming in at a different level, a higher level anyway. But for many, it's a lot more faster the way they're tracking through, and some of that is because the groundwork in conscious templating has already been done. And these guys are imprinting on it and basically going and living it. I refer to this as people such as myself laying down the sidewalks and putting in the sewage system in the city, and then people like those guys coming in and living in the city. So we do the foundation and they come in and live it. Doesn't seem fair, does it? Sucks. It doesn't mean to say we can't live it. What it means is if you're a primary templater and at the forefront of facilitating consciousness on the planet, then you are involved in the foundations of it for quite some time before the reality of walking the walk, walking it and talking it. So it's only a short video and I hope it made sense. So I've touched on a few things there because they are all interconnected. And linking in with these different realms, they are aspects of consciousness like the angels, the elemental kingdom, goddess energies, etc., ascended masters that can help us. But they are also aspects of us, you know, us that has been or us that will be, all in this moment now. So there is an overlap going on here. And also an overlap of that integration also overlaps with that, because the two go hand in hand or hand in glove, so to speak. And so if it is happening to you, it can be a little bit confusing, but use your intuition, your discernment. You have your own sovereignty, you have your own free will. You do have the power to say, no, I need clarity on this, and to question. I mean, that's what free will is about, you know, and that's part of your sovereignty. It's also part of your mastery, is learning to discern and your intuition, and learning to stand in your power in a loving, compassionate way. On that note, I will love you and leave you. As I say, I didn't expect to do this tonight. So hope you found that interesting. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for the kind feedback that I receive. And I'll see you again soon, guys. Bye.